Glad to have you in the studio, Sheriff.
Glad to be here.
Well, we certainly, I just want to say I am personally appreciative for you accepting our invitation. Thank you for what you do for the citizens of Hinds County and your long-standing career in law enforcement. You and I have been knowing each other for a long time.
Yeah.
But you, sir, are holding up very well. So we'll talk about how you're getting over on Father Time later.
I will. Okay.
But we want to talk a bit about some of the things that are going on in the Hinds County Sheriff's Department that you've implemented thus far. You can just come as you will and talk as you will. And I'll certainly interject some questions in that might be important to our viewers. But just talk about how's it going over at the Sheriff's Department.
Well, first of all, thank you for inviting me.
Yes, sir.
And it's always a pleasure when I can sit across a fellow Sherry on
That's right. That's right.
and express what we're doing. But I think the first day we hit the ground running. I have a fantastic staff. And as you know, the jail was my priority. And being under a consent decree from the Department of Justice, I had to hit the ground running.
Exactly right.
So day one, week one, we put in people that had the experience to put them in these areas that were sensitive because you had everything going on, and I wanted to go ahead and patch that up while we could. But moving on, something else we did, we moved our patrol division, and you're familiar with that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
We moved it from one location back to the county, and one of the first things I looked at was the time response, you know, and they're back in Raymond, and Raymond to us is a central location. We did some rezoning, so instead of seeing one car, you see two, if not three, within a certain period of time. We have also implemented our Scared Straight program, which is very, very well. And then we have our Community Services Division, which I'm very proud of, headed by Sergeant Kenny Bryant, that goes around and introduce the Fatal Vision program to all the schools, whether it be Jackson or Hinds County. In fact, they're going to Holmes County, so we're reaching out. And then speaking of that, what we're doing is working with all agencies, state and federal. So I'm real excited about that.
Well, it's clear, just the evidence is in the visual, quite frankly. I'm seeing more coverage in the county, and I know one of the things that you have placed emphasis on is making sure that you're visible in the rural areas, more so even in the incorporated areas. Because again, we both know that's the primary role of the Sheriff's Department, is make sure that we cover those gaps within that Hinds County area. And I think you're doing a fantastic job. Goes back to that same strategy that was implemented, you know, in the exception of the Sheriff's Department. So it works when you implement it correctly. So kudos to you for that. And I know there's some things that you put in place too. The other big part of the Sheriff's Department is the detention center. I know you've done some things. Talk a bit about some of the things that are going on that you've kind of arranged to get the detention center in order.
What we're doing too, every week, our officers are being trained by the finest staff. We have people that come from other agencies that are certifying them in tasers, pepper spray. This week, we started our training with dealing with the mentally ill, because as you know, they do come to our facility.
Yes, sir.
And people don't know how to deal with them.
Right.
So you have to be certified in that. So it's getting off the ground real good. All training is mandatory, and you must pass. You have to be certified. In fact, my jail warden just got back from Colorado being retrained. So we all about training in that jail, because we don't want any mistakes.
Well, that's a huge factor. I'm glad to hear you say that. Training, obviously, in the line of work we've been in over our careers, is paramount to being successful. And then the key piece is the mental health aspect of it.
Right.
I think we both agree over our years of being in law enforcement, that's one particular issue that I don't think law enforcement has gotten right until now. And the way we've gotten it right is we're starting to take it serious, and then getting the people in place, the trained personnel to address it. And so it's good to hear you say that. And I know one of the other big pieces that you're doing is in your crime prevention area, and talking about working with the community. Talk a bit about that, and how's that going so far?
Going real good. I go back to my Community Services Division, and these guys are nonstop. Sometimes I don't think they go home. They are either in the city or in the county implementing programs, helping the elderly out. We had a situation where here in Jackson, where 2 families did not have water. We went and got water for them, and it was donated by a company here in Jackson. So we do a lot of prevention, but we do a lot of putting back in the community, and it's about saving. It's about saving grace. We work with a lot of our churches. We have gotten our ministerial program kicked off. You remember the church that was up there on the hill at the Penal Farm? It's open now. Wow. Our Second Chance Choir, if I may put it this way, is going on tour now. And so we are doing it, and I'm so proud of people on the staff that are doing this, because this is what I dreamed of. Can't be done overnight, but we're getting there.
Well, you should be quite proud of, and I agree with you, you have a fantastic staff, and I've worked with many of them in the past and been knowing them for a long time, so I'm encouraged to see the people you brought in again to get the Sheriff's Department to the next level, so kudos again to you on that. And final thing I'd like to talk a bit about is, and you kind of touched on it, the whole premise of interlocal agreements and working with your surrounding agencies and trying to lock arms together and get control of the criminal element with unity. So talk a bit about that and how the Sheriff's Department works hand in hand with the municipalities that solve the crime problem in Hinds County.
Just yesterday,
yes, sir.
Terry, Mississippi, I went before the board, Mayor Joe Kendrick, and along with Chief Bracy Coleman. We now will have a space in that Public Works Department in Terry. So we'll be having our uniform cars in Terry, working hand in hand with the Terry PD and with the citizens. I'm on my way to Bolton and Edwards next. Sure. And my plan now is to have a uniform car working out of those police departments so we can assist them, and that's our goal. We're county police. And we not only have uniform cars, but we have investigators who are assigned to those areas working out of it. So I'd like to say thank you to the town of Terry. We'll be working there now.
Well, the word I'm hearing there is resonating is partnerships.
That's what it is.
And I know you are a big advocate for partnerships.
Big time.
And working together. And when the criminals get that message that law enforcement is working hand in hand to solve the problem, I'm certainly will put them on their heels, and that's exactly what we want them. Well, Sheriff, listen, we're going to allow you to wrap it up in your own way, and we're glad to have you in the studios, and anytime you can talk law enforcement all day long, quite frankly, but they do restrict us to segments. But if you want to say some final words, we'll give you an opportunity to say that.
Well, I'd like to, as I said before, thank you for letting me come on and be myself again.
Yes, sir.
I'd also like to thank the citizens of Hinds County for putting their trust and faith in me to tackle this monster we're dealing with. Sure. But it's not about me, it's about we. And we need all hands on deck so we can make Hinds County safer.
Well, I know the city of Jackson is committed to working with the county and resolving all of our issues in terms of criminal justice and things of that nature. So I'm certainly satisfied with the leadership that you provide at the Hinds County Sheriff's Department. I feel safer. I told you when you walked in the room, I know I feel safer because I know from whence you come. So thank you again for being in the studio. We know we will have you back soon to kind of give us periodic updates, and we appreciate you accepting that invitation.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much,
Yes,
Sheriff.
sir. Thank you.